Hulu's newest true crime docuseries, Friends Like These, The Murder of Skylar Neese, kind of gives away spoilers with the title, but that doesn't mean it removes the twisted tales behind the crime. When 16-year-old Skylar Neese vanishes from her West Virginia home, her family and community are thrown into turmoil. As the search for answers intensifies, attention turns towards Skylar's closest friends, uncovering a tangled web of secrets, betrayal, and identity. This is a 3-part series that could have been condensed to 2. And I know that's a harsh criticism right out of the gate, but when the info is mostly conveyed through the title of the docuseries, I don't need to beat around the bush and with coy hints. The story, it revolves around Skylar, this teen girl who went missing, and after a very long search and investigation, law enforcement finally gains actionable information that leads to arrests. So much of this story is told through the diaries and the social posts of Skylar and her 2 friends, giving us short, sometimes enigmatic, rants and raves, along with the gamut of emotions, both positive and negative, that help to paint a picture of the emotional states that this trio of girls was experiencing. Now, accounts from Skylar's parents, her friends from school, and law enforcement fill in a lot of the story details that the social posts and journal entries can't. Some of it is supposition and opinion, but the majority of it is emotionally heart-wrenching nonetheless, especially those interviews with her parents. We watch them have to relive the anguish, grief, and loss all over again as they recount not only life with Skylar as a young child, but then in the span of time that she was missing and then through the court case. And part of the series makes a good effort to build out a timeline of Skylar's last known moments and then the actions that the investigators took to try to track her down. But through this, I got the sense that we weren't dealing with the most expedient of detectives. And I know I'm playing armchair investigator here, but from the presentation, it doesn't appear law enforcement had any real urgency in their pursuits. Their words conveyed concern about immediacy, but their actions didn't support it. And it's kind of frustrating to watch this all unfold through interviews nonetheless that illustrate a lot of the waiting rather than proactive pursuit on all leads. And maybe that's just how the story is conveyed by the filmmakers. The investigators' drive wasn't highlighted in the interviews because of how it was all edited. But the feeling I walked away with was that the search was more of a passive endeavor for a lot of the case. The series, while detailing some of the interrogations that eventually took place, also shines a massive light, intentionally or not, on the injustice Skylar and her parents received through the sentencing phase of the case. The overall sentence felt justified, at least with one of the guilty parties. The other basically got a slap on the hand through plea deals that drastically reduced any punishment. And this was hugely maddening and frustrating, and then it left me angry as the series concluded up. Just like with most true crime documentaries, there's not a lot of after once the case has been solved and the trial has been completed, short, of course, of new reveals or information coming to light. Here, we get to learn of the time sentenced and then the time until parole eligibility. That discrepancy just made me sick. I said at the start that this could have been cut down from 3 episodes to 2, and that's because of some of the efficiency in storytelling was lacking. Just like with the slowness and passivity of the investigation, some of the narrative also meandered, most likely so as not to miss out on any detail, but not every single interview segment with Skylar's friends or family worked to reinforce the facts. A lot of the time, the information was emotional recollections rather than descriptions of facts or actions. And some of that is necessary to help build the character profile of the victim and their life. But once we know the person, revisiting it over and over only works to add time while distracting from the pursuit. The production elements make this a very polished and visually engaging documentary. When we're shown the social posts, they are creatively written on the surfaces of whatever background footage happens to be used in that portion. So if it's highlighting drama at a school, the messages would appear on lockers or on dry erase boards, each becoming a unique presentation that kept it intriguing and informative. And this is a massive part of the storytelling because it was at the time that Twitter was ingraining itself within the social culture, allowing the teens to verbally vomit every detail about their lives in a non-stop barrage of short 144-character thoughts. Thankfully, though, these prolifically posting pre-offenders provide a lot of insight into their motives and even mindsets. But as wonderful as the visuals are when showcasing the girls' thoughts, when portions of diaries or journals are narrated for us, all done through voice actors, the production chose the wrong age group to represent these teens. When we first hear the words spoken from Skylar's journals, the voice, inflection, even cadence sound like a 40-year-old woman, which then completely shatters any illusion that we are hearing from a teenager, despite the words being written by one. And this wasn't relegated only to Skylar's private writings. Her friends also had voice actors narrating their thoughts. And again, the voices just didn't match the photos and videos we were shown of her friends. And while it's not a massive issue, for a production that spent a good portion making this visually appealing, the audio narration should have also been a major focus. So despite you pretty much knowing the victim and suspects based on the title of the series itself, Friends Like These, The Murder of Skylar Neese works to tell a captivatingly sad story of jealousy, fear, and savagery that ends with so many lives being all forever altered. The production shines when highlighting interview subjects and visual overlays to highlight social posts and thoughts, but falters when doing the same with age-inappropriate voice actors. The case is tragic, and the series delivers the respect and sensitivity needed for a topic like this, while also not shying away from some of the horrific and graphic details that make this so shocking. The largest frustration you'll probably walk away with is the lack of hard justice the perpetrators receive when all is said and done. There's no sex or nudity, there are some descriptions of sexual situations and acts, there's some profanity, and while no violence is shown, the details can be quite graphic. As a reminder, I don't give couch ratings to documentaries, but I do recommend giving Friends Like These, The Murder of Skylar Neese, a go. It serves both as an intriguing true crime account and a cautionary tale for monitoring social media and the behaviors of kids. Okay, have you seen any compelling documentaries lately? I'm always in the mood to check out something new, so let me know your recommendations in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.